the dawn's early light, once so proudly we hailed, and the twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we once were so candidly screaming. The bomb was gaining air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, Satan's that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land under the praise, in the heart of the brave. Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight you in name, the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's your future to save. Stand of the brave, the US of A. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the brave?
The trail of the 3rd Army and the 19th Tactical Air Command of the 8th Air Force is marked by more than 40,000 white crosses, 40,000 dead Americans.
We were young and soldiers called to dedicate our lives in the name of God and country. Do what's just for us, go do what's right. A hot band of brothers waiting on our chance to add one more page unto the victory dance. Here am I, Lord, send me, send me. Victory lies in the spirit of the lives of the men who died for me.
Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And I said, here am I, send me.
send me roses.
This is Michael Brunner, Marine Corps veteran, actor, and Gallant Few board member. You are listening to the New American Veteran on Vets on Media. Now here's Carl Monger.
Thank you, Michael, and welcome to another episode of Gallant Few's The New American Veteran. My name is Carl Monger, and I am very proud to be an American veteran. The New American Veteran is a broadcast of Gallant Few, Inc., which is a 501c3 nonprofit. Our mission is to prevent veteran isolation by connecting new veterans with hometown veteran mentors, thereby facilitating a peaceful and successful transition from military service to a civilian life filled with hope and purpose. Our goal is to connect every new veteran with a hometown veteran mentor, and we do this by creating and supporting a nationwide network of successfully transitioned veterans that engage locally with new veterans with the same military background now going through their own transition. We believe this will help prevent veteran unemployment, homelessness, and suicide. Over the last couple of months, we've been developing out conceptually how Gallant Few will organize going forward. And I like to talk a lot about organizing around communities. And if you will, think of communities in silos. And those silos, to give you an example of a silo of that community, the Darby Project, which focuses only on Army Rangers. The Raider Project, which focuses on Marine Corps Special Operations veterans, the Raiders, as well as the infantrymen, the Ground Combat Series Marines. We have a program that is starting up, should be live, at least with a website by the end of this month, and then it will be developed more into the summer, that's called Wings Level, that focuses on United States Air Force veterans. And down the road, we're already talking to a Navy veteran about how we can incorporate something for the Navy in those community silos. There are silos of communities within the Army that we're not covering very strongly right now. We're very strong in the Ranger community. When you look at a community like the 82nd Airborne, or the 101st, or the 1st Cav, or the 2nd Armored, or any of the other number of units that are out there, 25th Infantry Division, for example, we're not organized around those units yet very well. So Gallant Few takes the rest of the veterans that don't fall into one of those pre-established community silos that we already have up and running, and Gallant Few handles them, each one as they come in, with the goal of connecting that new veteran with a veteran mentor who has gone through the exact same thing that they've gone through transition-wise. I hope that if you're listening to this and you're a veteran and you're able to come and join us as a mentor, that you'll go to gallantfew.org, and we'll get you directed to the right silo if you're not sure exactly where you plug in. If you're a Ranger, go to darbyproject.org. We have a press release that's going to come out. Hopefully it'll come out tomorrow, and I'll be able to share some more information about that. So keep watching tomorrow for a press release, and then if you're at Fort Benning for Best Ranger Competition the end of this week, I hope that you please come look me up. I'm going to be running around with a guy named Mike Schlitz who doesn't have any hands. Today's episode is dedicated to a Vietnam veteran and long-range reconnaissance patrol Ranger veteran Jack Fuchs. There are legends dying of cancer right and left, and Jack is an example of that. Over the last 60 days, I've read at least a half a dozen Vietnam veteran LRP Ranger types who have died of cancer, and 3 of them just within the last couple of weeks. It's terrible. It's horrible that it's happening, and we've got to hold those veterans close. We've got to make sure that we tell them how important they are to us, and that we support them in whatever kind of help they need. A lot of these veterans never received any help from the VA, and that Agent Orange battle that was ongoing for so long prevented them from being able to receive the kind of care that they needed to get, and they certainly didn't get the kind of compensation that they should have got. All right, I'm going to play a real quick video here before I bring my guest on the line. So let's listen to a station identification, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with 22 for 22.
This is Aaron Childress with Chili Off the Grid, Dish Network, Channel 266, Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Central. And you're listening to the New American Veteran on Vets on Media.
Good morning, my name is Tony Clark, and once again this year we'll be going back to Death Valley for the Badwater 135 Ultra Marathon. This will be my 3rd year going. Got a good crew, got a new training plan. Real hopeful about this year's turnout or how I'll do. Hopefully my kidneys don't shut down again. But with all that being said, of course, we're going to raise some money this year for a veterans cause, and we are still fighting hard to try to combat some of this veteran suicide. As many of you know, they're saying right now the statistic is 22 veterans a day in the United States are committing suicide. So what we have done is started a website called 22for22.com. And the significance of it is we are going to try to raise $22,000 through my efforts at Badwater for 22for22.com. The stance that Gallant Few and the Descendants of Sparta is taking on this is that we can't combat every single veteran suicide, but hopefully we can get to the next one with the right amount of funding and the right amount of resources. On top of that, the founder, Carl Monger, has said that the first 40 people to pledge $22 to our cause, he will send you these Spartan Pledge dog tags, and it has the Spartan Pledge on the back side of it, and it comes in a set of 2, and you can't really see it here, but on the top they are numbered. So you and your battle buddy or whoever else you have, your fellow Marine, your fellow soldier, your fellow sailor, fellow airman, you guys can hold each other accountable by these. So with all that being said, I'll try to keep you guys updated on my training this year. I know my wife's she's gonna set some pictures up on Instagram, and again, 22for22.com, and we're going to try to raise $22,000 for 22 veterans a day. So thank you very much. Semper Fi, and God bless.
We've been hearing there's a study that came out here real recently that they're talking about in Army Times. I think it hit the news over the weekend, that says that more than half of the veterans that have committed suicide served less than 2 years, maybe less than even 1 year on active duty, and that most of them separated from the military with some unsatisfactory or unfortunate occurrence, or there's some failure associated, perhaps a misbehavior, with them leaving active duty. And so now they're starting to say, oh, wait a minute, maybe these combat troops don't have quite as much of a problem. I'll tell you, every combat soldier, airman, Marine that I've talked to that has experienced some pretty horrific things, they all have struggled with that to a greater or a lesser extent. And we can't let the focus get away from that. And we've got to always remember that when you're talking about the actual ground combat soldiers, like we're going to talk about Tanner Higgins here in a minute, soldiers like Tanner Higgins, they are very few. There are not very many of them. When you look at the million plus however many's in the military, there are a very, very small percent of them that actually pull their boots on, load up a weapon, and head out on their feet or in a helicopter to go find, close with, and destroy the enemy. Very, very small percentage of soldiers that actually do that, and those guys, and right now they're pretty much all guys, although there are some women that are moving into the phases of Ranger School. They are incredible individuals, and they're not being given the support, they're not being given the resources that they need to do to be able to combat what they're going through. I'm going to show you a still image here real quick. This came from POW. I think actually the movie's name is going to be called Prisoner of War. It's going to be a short film that we filmed over the weekend. And Gallant Few is, as an organization, is the executive producer of this film. Very, very blessed, very fortunate that we were asked to participate in this. And Hand Crank Productions, which is a film company based out of Bellingham, Washington State, they actually did the filming, and Blackside Concepts and the Rangers that own that company were the ones that actually put the team together to make this thing happen. You're going to see, when this film comes out Veterans Day, we may have a pre-release viewing of this thing, but if the film is nearly as powerful as the clips that I saw as I was standing behind the editing desk and watching as they were filming, it is going to be amazingly powerful. It's going to be scary powerful, and it's going to explore what somebody goes through that has been put in one of these situations. And this shot right here, this is a totally unprofessional shot. It's taken with my Canon camera that I got for $150 at Best Buy. So that just gives you an idea of the set, the lighting. Oh my gosh! When you see this, we're going to raise some tremendous awareness about what's going on in the veteran world. We're going to be able to develop more resources that are going to be able to help some of these veterans. One of the number one things that they deal with is the struggle that goes on in their own mind. Sheldon B. Kopp said, and I quote, "All the truly important battles are waged within the self." And when you are going to battle, you perform better in battle if you're prepared for that battle. And we are doing a horrible job preparing our soldiers for these battles that they go through when they leave active duty. And that's what we are all about, is proactively connecting them with the veteran that's already been through it so that we can help those that are about to go through it make that transition that much easier. Okay, now I could keep talking and talking and talking about this, but I have got to get to my guest because I know she has an appointment that she's got to get to. And I really appreciate her being on the show today. And I'm going to put on my 4 eyes here real quick so that I can read the introduction. Patty, you may need to, up in the center of your screen, there's a little microphone button. You may need to unclick your own microphone button because when I clicked it, I don't think that I can unclick you again, but we'll see here in just a second. While she's looking at that, I'm going to read the intro from the Tanner Higgins website. Okay, good. I see you're unmuted. The Tanner Higgins Warrior Run was created to honor the memory of Sergeant Tanner Stone Higgins, 23, killed by enemy forces during a heavy firefight while conducting combat operations in Logar Province, Afghanistan, April 14, 2012. Sergeant Higgins was leading an assault against an enemy compound when he was mortally wounded by small arms fire. Tanner was a team leader assigned to Company Delta, 1st Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment at Hunter Army Airfield, Georgia. He was on his 4th deployment to Afghanistan in support of the War on Terror. He deployed to Iraq once. The Tanner Higgins Military Memorial Fund, developed from the Warrior Run event, is soon to be a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Our mission, to serve military men and women in uniform who serve their country or community. We are dedicated to raising funds and offering financial and social support beyond what the government offers to men and women of service and their families. As a Gold Star mother, I have a heart to help other Gold Star families, transitioning soldiers to civilian life, active and non-active military personnel, and soldiers who have been wounded and have needs beyond what the government will help with. If you have a heart for our military and their families, I ask that you will consider partnering with us to help make their lives a little easier. Whatever they may need, big or small, we hope that our organization will soon be known in the military community as a helping hand. Proud Gold Star mother of Sergeant Tanner Stone Higgins and Blue Star mother of Specialist Dylan Henniger, and that is Patty Stone Sells. Patty, welcome to the New American Veteran.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here.
Well, it's an honor and a privilege to welcome you to the show. I'm sorry for your loss. I was an officer in 1st Ranger Battalion back in the early 90s, and so I've certainly walked some of the same ground that your son did in Hunter Army Airfield and some of the training areas around there. And my heart goes out to you, and prayers for the safety of your other son who is still serving.
That's correct, and I do appreciate that.
So tell me a little bit about your son. Tell me about Tanner.
Oh my goodness, he was a force to be reckoned with. If I had to describe him in one word, it would be determined. That boy, when he set his mind to something, there was no stopping him. I could go on and on, with stories about through high school and weightlifting and football and the goals that he set for himself. But his dream was to become an Army Ranger, and he did that, and he did that very well.
Those of us that associate with Army Rangers a lot, you can kind of forget a little bit how exceptional individuals they really are. And when you're talking about your son, a leader in personal life, a leader in military life, that's a great reminder of the kind of individual that is attracted to service in a unit like the 1st Ranger Battalion. And it's not an easy unit to get to, and it certainly is not an easy unit to stay at. And with multiple combat deployments and making it to sergeant, that's quite an accomplishment.
I'm very proud of him. Very proud of him. And Dylan as well. He's done well also.
Yeah, and you're welcome, if you want to say anything about Dylan, you're certainly welcome to do that if you want to talk about his service, or not. It's up to you.
Well, I'm just very happy to say that his last day is May 8th, and he will be back in Texas with me.
Okay, so I don't think I'm connected with Dylan yet. So please let me, whatever I can do to help him with this transition, please let me help you with that. And also, we'll have a side conversation later because my education about you and your organization has increased by about 1,000% since we started talking about doing this a couple of days ago.
Okay.
And I want to be able to help you in any way we can, because your mission and your motivation and certainly your sacrifice, it deserves all the help that I and my organization can give. We want to be able to do that.
Well, likewise, your organization, I mean, it sounds wonderful, and I'd love to partner with you on some things in the future.
Tell me a little bit about, I know what it is, but there are some people maybe that listen to this that don't know what a Gold Star family member is. Can you tell us what that is?
Well, I'm ashamed to admit I didn't either until I became one, and that means I've lost a loved one in the line of duty, and it is definitely the hardest road that I have ever been on. It's, I'm still on that grief journey. We're just coming up on 3 years since Tanner was killed, and I guess creating this military fund in his name, we just are trying to focus our energies on good, positive things, and just move forward the best we can. The best way I know to do that is to help others and to do others and just do something that he would be very proud of.
So tell me about the organization. What is the organization coming together to do?
Well, of course, we're still really new at it. The first year we provided just monetary gifts to 3 different seniors at the Sulphur Springs High School that had enlisted in various branches of service. That's all kind of we could pull together that first year. But we did give them $500 each. And my thoughts behind that was that, when Tanner enlisted, I mean, there were all kinds of sign-on bonuses and everything, and then with all the military cutbacks, that they don't do that anymore, and these kids are just signing up, because they want to serve their country. Not that wasn't the reason Tanner signed up as well, but I don't know. I just know the Army provided most everything, but he was known as like the gadget king. He had every little gadget and gizmo you could imagine, and I see you smiling, and I mean, it's all about, just all those, just so many things that just bring a smile to my face. But and when they're just starting out, they don't have a lot of money. So I just, wanted to give them a little monetary gift to help them with those things. And then the next year, we incorporated helping transitioning soldiers. One of Tanner's military brothers was transitioning, out of the Rangers and starting up his own business. So we provided him with a MacBook Pro to help him in his business. And anyway, and I mean, here it is, year 3, and I've set my sights really high, only because I'm beginning to recognize what you other organizations are doing, and building houses for wounded warriors, and making them handicap accessible, and just so many good things have been done for me personally. And I just want to help. That's just what I want to do. I just want to be known as a helping hand in the military community, and anything and everything that comes up that we can help with, I want to be able to do that.
And you're having a golf tournament, or I'm sorry, not a golf tournament, a race.
Correct. It's the Tanner Higgins Warrior Run, and we have it every year.
Sign up while you're talking about it here. Let's see. Is there a website? Oh, there we go. I'll just.
Oh, okay. You want me to keep talking?
Yeah, please, go ahead. I just want to pull this up so that people can see.
Yes.
Put it on the screen here.
It's a Warrior Run, and it's a 5-mile trail challenge that we have every year near the anniversary of his death, which he was killed on April 14th. So this year it will be held April 11th at Cooper Lake State Park. They host our event each year, and they've been so good to us out there, providing cabins and just providing so many things. But anyway, people really, it's just a wonderful day to remember my boy, and the community has just been so wonderful to support us. And you can go to tannerhiggins.com to register. It's $45 to register, and then on the race day it will be $50. And this is our one event that we have that raises money for our Military Memorial Fund. We past 2 years we've had 200 registered runners, give or take. This year we have 8 states that will be represented. We have runners in 8 different states and Afghanistan. Last year we had 11 states and Japan, which I'm very proud to say. And I just love that we've got runners all over the United States, supporting our cause and loving our boy. And anyway, it just does my heart really good.
I wanted to also jump in here. There's some background on Tanner. Anybody that wants to know a little bit more about that can take a look at it. And there are some other photographs and images and some things on there that I'm sure that this picture is one of my favorite pictures that I have seen. Hopefully,
ever.
Yes, isn't that a great picture?
I love that. That's Tanner in the middle, and his buddies next to him, and 3 of his military brothers will be joining us, or 2 for sure. A third one hopefully will be joining us this year at the Warrior Run. So I'm really excited to get my arms around their necks. And I've just been back in Texas, 8 months. I actually lived in Georgia near Tanner when he got stationed there. I made the move with him. And I don't know, everyone thought I was crazy to leave my job here in Texas and up and move across country, but I felt very led to do that, and I'm so thankful that I did, because it gave me 3 more years with him.
And now that you're back, I'm also in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so anything that I can do to help you, please just reach out and ask.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I wish I was going to be here for the event, but I'll be at Fort Benning next weekend for the Best Ranger competition. I already was committed to go to that. So.
Well, I would love to be at that event. I know I'm rooting for Team 27. Philip Giwa. He's I know him. He helped us through our hard time after we lost Tanner, and so I'm rooting for Team 27.
Yeah,
please tell him hello for me.
I sure will. I don't know if I'll get a chance to talk to them because they're a little bit busy when they're there.
I bet. Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been to a Best Ranger competition? Have you seen
I haven't, but it was a dream that Tanner and Dylan would be able to do that together one of these days. But, that didn't get to happen. But I know about the Best Ranger competition for sure.
Oh, it's an amazing event, and it's the best, physically, mentally, emotionally. The men that go and compete in that, it's a pretty awesome deal. So I'm looking forward to reconnecting with a lot of my friends while I'm there. We're going to be talking about the Darby Project, which is our focus. I was looking to see if I have one of my brochures laying right next to me, but I don't. That's Rangers Helping Rangers, and 1st Ranger Battalion veteran Grant McGarry, who probably knows your son. He is the director of the Darby Project, and we're announcing all of that this week and making sure that everybody understands what that is and how we can help them.
Okay, yes, I jotted that down in my notes. I'll be sure to look more into that more.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being on the show. I ask everybody go out there, TannerStoneHiggins.com, look for the event. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or even if you're not, you can get in here, then come do it. It's April the 11th, correct?
That's correct.
All right, and I'll send you a donation like I'm gonna run, but I won't be able to run. So.
Well, we'll get you a shirt.
Excellent. All right.
All right. Thank you.
So much. All right, Patty. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, I am going to jump over here and see if I can get this to. Every once in a while, I've had some frustrations with my Real Player program deciding that it wants to lock up on me. Every week we have played this a career series by U.S. Army veteran Michael Mayer. And I'm going to jump into my directory. I believe we are now on episode number 5. And these were taken from lectures that he gave to some job seekers. He has talked about interview questions and some other things. And this is the 3rd in the series of questions that you ask during the interview. So let me tee this up here.
As I mentioned, it's not only about your suitability, it's also about their suitability. Shared risk, mutual respect. You're entering into an agreement with them. They also have to show you why you have to join them. Companies right now are in a great position. There are company-driven markets and there are candidate-driven markets in recruiting. A candidate-driven market is like 2006. They couldn't find enough people to fill the positions they needed. Therefore, when people negotiated money, they got better terms. They got more money. They had more say. Companies worked harder to get them. Companies worked harder to keep them. Now, it's the opposite. It's a company-driven market, which means there's more people than there are jobs, which translates to companies dictating and saying, well, here's a job, but you're going to take this or you're going to leave it. And you know what? I know you made that much, but this is what they're in a better position right now to dictate terms. But that doesn't mean that they don't have an obligation to show you why you want to be part of them. Don't think that you are just a victim or a passenger in this process.
All right. Because I was traveling over the weekend and we were doing this filming, I wasn't able to get all of the things strung together that I wanted to show on this. So one more time, I'm going to pop this picture up of an Army Ranger veteran who is an actor. He's a 1st Ranger Battalion veteran, and that's him with the hood on his head. And I'm not going to say a whole lot more about this other than this is going to be a groundbreaking production by veterans, for veterans, and for the general public. And it's really going to help, I think, the greater population understand the stress that veterans had. I also forgot to, as we were talking earlier about Tanner, there is a Facebook page for the run, and I want to, so that anybody that's on here can see this, and there it is, Tanner Higgins Warrior Run. So please go out, take a look at that, and like that page, and make sure that you support the event in any way that you can. We have a very special obligation for not only for our veterans, but for our Gold Star family members, and it is one that I know a large number of Gold Star family members, and I know a large number of Ranger veterans, as well as some other veterans that gave their lives in service to the country. And so it's something that, to me personally, it's very, very close and very dear to me that we do everything that we can to help those families. And when they reach out and they want to help other veterans or other veteran family members, I think it's amazing. And it's part of, I think, the healing process that helps them as they go forward. It doesn't ever get any easier, and they certainly never forget, but I think that this helps them cope in some way. A couple of last minute announcements. I said earlier that this show was, the sponsor of this show is Article 15 Clothing, article15clothing.com. Those guys are funny. They have some great videos. They've done some great work. Their business is booming, and go help them make it boom a lot more. We have some nomadic veteran / other stuff that's coming up. I'm not going to announce yet because that's still down the road, but watch for that. And Gallant Few Star Training, I have a couple of sessions that I'm doing with some staff members over the next week and a half. And then after that, I'm going to open it up for other veterans again. Remember the Gallant Few Star Training. There's the STAR stands for self-training and response ability. And it is within you to choose the response to any situation that you encounter. And we talk about some techniques to help do that. And we believe that there are 5 points of the STAR, and each one of those points stands for a fitness level or a wellness level: emotional fitness, physical fitness, financial fitness, professional fitness, and social fitness. If you're going to be a best ranger next week, look me up. If you want to find out more about Gallant Few, go to gallantfew.org. Our new website has rolled out. We have a couple of little glitches in it that we're working our way through. Some of the enrollment process, I think, is a little hicky right now, but we're going to get there. And stay tuned for lots more. Thank you for tuning into the New American Veteran. I close the show every week with taps, and let me get that part reset. Thank you for listening to Gallant Fuse, the New American Veteran. Special thanks to Michael Broderick, Kenny Thomas, Tim Abel, Jim O'Farrell, and Madison Rising for permission to use their audio recordings on this broadcast. That rendition of taps is a public domain recording created by a soldier or employee of the United States government and as such is not subject to copyright protection. This has been a production of Gallant Fuse, the New American Veteran, a proud member of the Vets on Media Global Network, all rights reserved. Learn more at www.gallantfuse.org.